Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Up Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices, and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Up Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Up, craft your own footprints.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Mbaniriza nnyo ku program The Mighty Drive Farida bikobere manya gange njagala okubategeza niwe live on Facebook osobola ogendayo n'otunoonyako ku The Alternative Uganda oba TikTok TV oja kubanga ate otufuna bulungi nnyo munnange nno weekuumire mu kumanya otege byabadde wotobadde obanga tewafunye budde kulaba TV kugoberera bifa mu nsi yo oja kubanga ate obifuna bulungi nnyo butereevu ku The Alternative Uganda oba TikTok TV ku Facebook ate ku YouTube otusanga ku The Alternative Uganda sobola okubanga ate otugoberera bulungi nnyo. You can subscribe ku YouTube nosobola okuyita mikwano gyo nabo ne basubscribing ate ku Facebook osobola otufollowinga nosobola okulikinga programs zaffe ate ola tokumentinga bwebanga show gyolaba ekwatirako ddala ng'olina idea ng'olina suggestion oba olina ekibuuzo asobola okubanga ate bakuddamu bulungi nnyo olunaku lwakubiri ennaku z'omwezi ziri ya 20 omwezi tuli mu gwa February ate omwaka tuli mu 2024 we are only counting 9 days sobola okubanga ate February naye tumufuluma tuyingire March waliwo abagambye mu February exchanging position ne January is where February is becoming long okusingako January bwe yali nenga kyonna kyekiri tugenda kubanga ate omwezi gwa February tugufuluma next week tuberenga ate toyingira March omwaka guba gutambula nno gwe munnange nyawo kokobirize nnyo nti we are saving this year so konna katono don't save big, don't wait to save big. Bwobanga oyina ekyokusavinga ekinene well and good. If you do not have nange oyina wakatonotono kokowo savinga by the end of the year ojja kulabanga wasulanga 10,000 nga it has made some good money. So bannange tolinda ku savinga 5 10 oyinza okutazifuna at once nenga tosobola okusavinga 2 omutwalo wozifunidde saving it is a good culture to save osobola okubanga ataka sente ko savings etwemanyize nnyo n'okuinvestinga bw'okafuna katonotono you begin small n'osobola okubanga olinamu by'oinvestingamu bw'otandika okusuubula emboga za mutwalo bw'okomawo n'okomyawo ogumu ekitundu so nno munnange let's learn to save and invest invest ate akasente ke tusavinze tukasavinga kutuyambako bw'osavinga ate n'ofuna obuzibu ate togaana kukoza akasente ke kasavinga as if it is some other person's money. Use that money because we save kulaba nga ate sente ezo tusavinze zituyambako mu buzibu bwe tuba tufunye. Mwenno abakozesa social media obubi bwandibanga bubakeeredde nanti neera babajjeemu TikTok omukulu ebadde yeeyita pressure naye nga amanya g'amatuufu ye Musa na Ibrahim ono nno nga bamuvunaana emisango gya defamation n'okozesa hate speech eri abantu abamu okusingira ddala kabaka wa Buganda n'omukulu Katikkiro wa Buganda Charles Peter Mayiga ate Buganda okutwaliza awamu. Omukulu ono kigambibwa nti yakwatibwa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 17 omwezi guno gwe tulimu era n'atwalibwa wali ku CID headquarters ng'okunoonyereza bwe kugenda mu maaso fayiro ye esobola okujjula bulungi olwo nno tunaamulabako mu kooti ng'asimbiddwa nga munnanga aweere nemba n'emisango egyo gy'okutyoboola abantu abanene bwe batyo nno. Munnanga omukulu oyo yavaayo nga atyoboolera ddala kabaka wa Buganda Ronald Muwenda Mutebi owookubiri kwosa ne Katikkiro yadde ng'ebyogerwa bibadde bingi n'amaloboozi agava mu nsonda enekusifu ng'agamba ate osanga alina abamutuma n'ekirungi yakwatiddwa era bw'abanga yabadde n'abamutuma katusuubire nti ajja kubyogera. Abamu nga bagamba omusajja mulalu basoba muleke ne neebuuza omulalu asobola okukozesa essimu n'alumba abantu abakulu bwe batyo mu ggwanga naye eddalu lye aba yeetaaga kutwalibwa butabika jjanjabibwe. So omukulu oyo kyakonfamingiddwa omukulu Fred Enanga wa police nategeeza nti kituufu omukulu Ibrahim Musa ali mu custody era nga ajja kubanga essaawa yonna nga bamaze okwekaanyawo obutambi bwe bwabadde ng'akola nga yeeyitambuye kabaka oyo n'abadde kabaka w'abakadaama nga tagambwako nga bamuyita kikyo kabaka ku TikTok yenna ng'abantu bakuwaga. Ono nno muntu wakubiri kinajjukirwa nti waliwo omuvubuka eyakwatibwa nga naye yajja ku TikTok n'agamba fe abasse abaana b'ekasese be baayokya. Omuvubuka oyo naye n'akwatibwa ate abantu bangi bazze bakwatibwa ne waliwo n'omuvubuka eyeeyita Dr. Sefco naye yakwatibwako omukyala Jennifer Fulfiga naye lwakumutyoboola ng'agamba akavubuka kasusse omuyisaamu amaaso. So nno kidde eri gwe akozesa social media obubi bakukubiriza nnyo okozesa social media naye it is not a must olina oteekayo akavidiyo oba tolina byakwogerako oba tolina content olwo olunaku luleke luyitewo. Tokolera nnyo content ng'oyonoona erinnya ly'omuntu omulala olw'okuba oyagala likes. Because abantu bemuvoola bantu bakulu balina ababagoberera balina families balina ba in-laws balina abantu ababasamu kati nga omukulembeze w'ennono kabaka wa Buganda nodda ku ssimu yo gye olw'okuba olina essimu ennungi n'okwata video n'otandika okutyoboola omusajja ng'omuvuma ebigambo ebinene. Banaye osobola okuritika ng'omuntu nga tomuvumye n'ogamba wano kabaka tebagamba kabaka tasongwamu talabwa mu kamwa taddibwamu. So banaye ennono tugigoberere nnyo kubanga ennono yetufudde kye tuli wano mu Africa. So tugoberere nnyo ennono ne waga tukuze batugamba kabaka taddibwamu tasongwamu gwe pressure jawa obuvumu obukwata essimu yo n'otandika okuvoola kabaka mu nsonga eyo n'odda ne ku Kamalabyonna Katikkiro wa Buganda naye ate n'omuyisaamu eggaali ng'enjogera ya kakati bweri ng'omukulu ono agamba ye kabaka omutuufu era nga kabaka aliko mukyamu era ali mu ntebe ye neŋŋamba bw'abanga ye mutuufu lwaki ate obwakabaka obunoonyeza ku social media lwaki togende Mengo n'ogamba naye nze mutuufu muveeyo mwe muli bakyamu nze omutuufu muno nzuno neezudde nti nze mutuufu so n'olw'ensonga eyo nzize kutwala ekifo kyange. So nno ekyo kibeere kyakuyiga eri mmwe bwenna ba TikTokers okusingira ddala because you think TikTok ebafuula baserebu mu lunaku lumu olw'okuba mufunye ba views ne babayita ku bwe interviews so ne muvaayo ne mulowooza nti you are big people in this country. Temulina kye muli TikTok telina kyekuwa tekwongerako bitabo tekwongerako mbw ate wafunye walina degree emu nga akagenda ku TikTok ekufuna degree 3 TikTok telina kyekuba otherwise abamu egenda kubaleetera obuzibu ng'obwo kati ng'omukulu oyo amaze mu kkomera kati ennaku z'omwezi 2 tubala kati ebiro 3 nga munnange alya ku mmere ya gavumenti ne bukuulaazi bwa gavumenti SC nga bwaginyumirwa bulungi nnyo osanga gyali waliyo SC. So kibeere ekyokuyiga eri mmwe mwena ba big TikTokers nga we mweyita olw'okuba mulina following ennene mulipira buli omu muvuma buli omu era munnange namwe amateeka gajja kubakolako nga bwe galagira kubanga era twafunyeko abakulu okuva emengo nga bagamba nti omukulu oyo pressure oba Musa na Ibrahim agenda kukolanga ekyokulabirako eri abantu abalala abazze batyoboola Obuganda abatyoboola Kabaka ne Buganda okutwaliza awamu. Enda kubanga mmaliriza eggulire lyange eyo ntambule mpola ngendeko wali eri mu kooti enkulu ebadde ewuliriza misango gy'omubaka Alan Sewanyana ne omukulu Honorable Segirinya Muhammad. Bano nno ya omukulu yavuddeyo omukyala Alice Komuhanji yavuddeyo n'ayimiriza okuwulirwa okw'emisango gino era ng'onagamba nti kabasooke bamale okuwulira application y'omu kwabo be bwakwata n'ababaka bano egambibwa nti abadde atokyaringibwa olw'ensonga nti nga baagala ayogere nti yalina ababaka bano be baamutuma. Omukulu ono Mike Serwadda agamba yatulugunyizibwa mu kkomera era ng'agamba nti ensonga lwaki yatulugunyizibwa abantu abamutulugunya baali baagala akkirize nti ababaka bano okuli Alan Sewanyana n'omubaka Muhammad Segirinya baamutuma okubanga ate batwala okutema ebijambi ebyali e Masaka era ono mu kooti yavuddeyo n'atulaga n'agamba nti abantu abo yali tabalabako nga taba meetingangako okujjako okubalaba ku TV era ng'agamba nti okubalaba face to face yabalabira mu kooti naye yali taba meetingangako era kooti yavudde negamba nti akaseera kano kagenda kubanga ate kayambako omubaka Muhammad Segirinya okulaba nga yejjanjaba olw'ensonga nti tali mu mbeera nnungi nnyo paka nga ate kooti ezeemu okuwulira era nga bano abamu ku bo be bavunaana n'ababaka bano baziddwayo mu kkomera okutuusa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 26 omwezi ogwokusatu omwaka guno gwe tulimu ate bwe kooti bwe netandika okuwulira application y'omukulu Mike Serwadda agamba nti ate yatokyaringibwa olw'ensonga nti baali baagala information. You know, more information gathering they can do anything for as long as they want to go yogere amazima. Sometimes they go beyond oba they go overboard naye nga omukulu ono agamba nti yatulugunyizibwa ekitagambika era nga asaba kooti ewulire okusaba kwe asobole okubanga ate ajanjabibwa. Eyo nno munnange ababaka abo bawere nemba n'emisango gy'obutujju okuva eri Masaka agambibwa nti be bakulira ebijambiya ebyagenda mu maaso side zeeyo Masaka. So nno munnange ebinaveeyo katulinde ennaku z'omwezi nga 26 omwezi ogwokusatu tulaba ate ekinava side zeeyo mu kooti. Mu nsonga y'emu omukyala Maria Goretti Kitutu ono kooti yagobye okusaba kwe ono yabadde asaba kooti esobola okubanga egaana obanga eyimiriza kaliisoliiso wa government aleme ate kumuggulako misango mirala. Kooti munnange edduumirwa omulamuzi Kajuga ono yavudde negoba okusaba kwe era omukulu ono yatugambye nti ye tayina buyinza bugaana kaliisoliiso wa government ne Ssaabawolereza okubanga ate bavunaana omukyalo ono Maria Goretti Kitutu era nga omukulu omulamuzi Kajuga yategeezezaako nti kino tekiina wekityoboolera ddembe lya omukyalo oyo omubaka Maria Goretti Kitutu. Nonno kinajjukirwa nti awere nemba n'emisango egy'amabaati ge Kalamoja okubanga yabulankanya amabaati era nga kigambibwa nti omukyalo ono era yafiiriza gavumenti obuwumbi bwa ssente obuwereramu 1.5 billion era nga ono yafairinga okubanga atekawo emirembe side zeeyo Kalamoja. So nno era ku mwezi ogujja ennaku z'omwezi nga omwezi guno nga guggwako ennaku z'omwezi nga 29 that is next week tugenda kubanga ate tulaba omukyala Maria Goretti ali mu kooti etandikirwako ng'ate awere nemba n'emisango emirala yadde nga ne guli ogw'amabaati gukyagenda mu maaso. So nno ndowooza ono emikisa tegiri mu kuplayingirako saidi ye era katulinde ennaku z'omwezi ndowooza lujja kuba lwakuna anatandika ate okubanga yeewozaako mu kooti etandikirwako ng'ate munnange awere nemba n'emisango emirala kaliisoliiso wa gavumenti gye yamuguddeko nga nvuddeko okutuuka eyo ngenda kubanga ngendako wanene Makindye mu kooti y'amagye abawagizi ba NOP 28 bano neera baziddwayo kwa limanda era nga bairo yabamiddwa olw'oku ensonga ezitamanyikiddwa bulungi nnyo. Kinajjukira nti abantu bano balabikako mu kooti ng'era basaba bail. Omulamuzi w'ekooti y'amagye General Freeman Mugabe n'agamba nti abantu bebalese okubeeyimirira okustandinga nga sureties bawewuka era ne babazaayo kwa limanda ate okutuusa olunaku lw'eggulo we baalabiseeko mu kooti naye ate era ne baalabise mu kooti era omukulu ono yalagidde baddizibweyo kwa limanda okutuusa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 19 omwezi ogwokusatu omwaka guno gwennyini gwe tulimu. Muno nno okwawukanako n'entuula endala abannamawulire tebakkiriziddwamu era baagobeddwa. Kino nno kyaleese obusungu bungi naddala okusingira ddala mu babaka NOP abadde bazze okweyimirira okwabadde omubaka Joel Ssennyonyi n'ababaka abalala 8 babadde bazze beeyimirire abantu bano aba NOP abakwatibwa mu mwaka gwa 2021 bano nno nga bavunaanibwa okubanga balina ebyokulwanyisa obanga balina ebintu ebikwatagana ku ebirina okubeera ebyamagye so nno bano ne bakwatibwa ne batwalibwa eruzira paka kati nga bakyawere nemba n'emisango egyo. Akwabadde ababaka okuli Honorable Zake Francis babadde munange nga bazze olw'ensonga nti ba relatives babasibe abo bagobebwa olw'ensonga nti kooti yagamba mbu bawewuka oba tebasaanidde kweyimirira bantu baabwe era okuli omubaka Joel Ssennyonyi Rosias Mukasa Seninde Zake Francis babadde n'ababaka abalala 8 nga banekedde mu makooti gaabwe bulungi nnyo nga bagenza okweyimirira abaana basobola okubanga ate bafuna bail bafune freedom yaabwe. Munange kyababuuseeko abakulu we baganye ate okuwa abaana abo bail abawerera ddala 28 ne basalawo ate baba remanding okutuusa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 19 omwezi ogujja. Bano babadde banyiivu nnyo nga boogerako eri bannamawulire ne bagamba nti gavumenti bweyongera mu maaso n'okubanga ebagoba mu makooti nabo bwe bayita mu bintu byabwe ebirala nammwe temugenda kubanga tebawadde ensonga lwaki bannamawulire bagobeddwa mu kooti era nga munnange bano bavuddeyo ne batugambi nti ate bano baba remandinze okutuuka ennaku z'omwezi nga 19 kyanaku nnyo ate era kyennyamiza kubanga kino kikontana n'emirimu gyaffe nga bannamawulire. Okuvaako eyo ngenda kubanga mmaliriza neggulire ly'omwana Joshua Manje Tendo onono nga yafuna obubonero 4 mu PLE. Eggulire lino lyalagibwako ku TV station emwe ennaku z'omwezi ndowooza nga 26 omwezi gwa January era ng'omwana ono kigambibwa nti yali atunda manda okusobola okubanga ate afuna school fees we yamusobozesa okusoma n'amalako primary 7. Munnange kati wetwogerera essanyu libukedde famire y'omwana ono olw'ensonga nti abazira kisa n'amasomero mangi nnyo gavaayo ne gagabira omwana ono basari era bo ne beerobozaako okusinziira ku masomero agaali gazze era nga mukyo ne balonda St Mary's College Kisubi okubanga ate omwana ono agenda ono yaweereddwa basari okusoma from senior 1 up to senior 6 nga munnange talinayo 10 kyasasula okujjako okutwala scholastic materials. Ate omukyala maama w'omwana ono Joshua Manje Tendo bwe yabadde ayogerako ne bannamawulire yeebazizza nnyo abantu abavuddeyo okulaba nga bakwasizaako omwana we okusobola okubanga ate agenda okusoma high school kubanga ye yategeezezza nti ate ye ng'omwana nga maama yabadde talina ssente zigenda kuzzaayo mwana ono kusoma. Mu bantu abeebaziddwa kwe kuli omwami Kaddu Kiberu ono nga yeyagulidde omwana ono scholastic materials ezamuzizzaayo ku ssomero era omukulu ono n'awa omwana ono ekaze ttaka 2 nga kuliko ebitooke olusuku lw'ebitooke olutuulidde ddala ku acres 2 lulabirire omwana ono paka wanaamala okusoma muyambeko okubanga ate afuna ebyetaago kubanga kati school fees eri covered asobola ofuna ebitabo pocket money byonna so nno tujja kubanga ate naffe munnaye twebaliza wamu abantu abavuddeyo kubanga maama agamba nti mu bintu byonna ye talina yadde ekikumi kye yawadde mutabanyi we kutandikira ddala ku pocket money abantu abazira kisabe bayambye omwana we. So nno munnange mwebali nnyo mwebalire da stories nga bwe zityo banaye tuzijengayo laba omwana asomye obulungi nga talina sente zimwongera. You never know omuzira kisali outside there asobola ate okubanga amuyambako. Ngenda kubanga ate mpumulamuko katono nnyo bwe naba nkomawo ngenda kuba negatiddwako omugenyi waffe olunaku lwaleero Augustine Ojobile okuva mu FDC Najjanankumbi sobola okubanga ate twogera ku nsonga nnyingi ensonga za education nsonga tetusobola kubanga ate tubuusa ensonga za politics. A very good morning.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi, Rogers. Can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes, it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital.
Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704 11 1720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Tokulikayo nnyo mu kuwummulamuko kyali ku Mighty Drive Farida bikobirege manya gange negatiddwako omukulu Rogers Yahabwe ate n'omugenyi waffe olunaku lwaleero omukulu wa Ojobile Augustine okuva eri mu kibiina kya FDC. Tugenda kubanga twogera mu nsonga za education, UCE results, performance y'abaana ne preparation ya political parties ahead of 2026 elections. Twagala kulaba olowooza ebibiina bino byetegekedde okusinga ddala FDC tuyina ebiwayi bibiri. We do not know bani batuufu bano bakyamu. So nno gwe munnange ng'obadde oyagala kuddirira ku tiketi ya FDC, this is the time. Tuyina omukulu okuviira ddala ate ng'ono ali kakiiko akakulira ebyokulondesa eri sayidi zeeri mu FDC ye Najjanankumbi. So ono agenda kubanga ate atuwa information entuufu. So you should be tuning in ku Facebook yaffe Alternative Uganda osobola okubanga ate weekuumira mu kumanya performance y'abaana weeri, abamu baagudde abamu baayise. Some districts performed really well as others nezi performing ddala bubi ate nga nno ekyo nno tunaabeera nga tukimanyi bulungi nnyo nti curriculum yakyuka so nga abagenda otuula omwaka guno bebigezo n'enseti ng'eba yanjawulo nnyo ku baatudde last year. So kati oba olina omwana nga yagudde gavumenti yavuddeyo n'eteekawo enteekateeka nti abaagudde mwe muyina enteekateeka yammwe nno yanjawulo nno ddala okwawukanira ddala ku bagenda okutuula era mwe temugenda tuulira mu masomero muyina designated places babateereddewo nga mwe mugenda okubanga mukolera ebigezo byammwe. So nno gwe munnange agenda otuula disi yange ogenda kuddamu ate bw'onoogwa ojja kuddayo mu senior 1. Though it is not good news at all kubanga atambudde from senior 1 up senior 4 ate n'ogwa ne bakuzaayo mu senior 1. So anaitufu bagambanga nti this time round musomere ddala oteekeyo obwongo osobola okubanga ate oyita ogende ku level endala. Koti y'olunaku lwaleero egamba nti courage is not freedom from fear, it is being afraid and still going on. Courage obuvumu si kuba nti gwe toyina kutya no, oyina okutya naye ate okutya tekukugaana kugenda mu maaso. That is courage. So mu buli kintu ky'okola buli kimu ky'oba oteekako omukono beera n'obumalirivu obubeera ne courage eyo nti yadde ebisomooza weebiri but I have to go on kubanga teri mulala asobola kikukolera nga gwe bw'oyagala kikola. A very good morning, Rogers Yahabwe.
Good morning. It's a good start to begin with courage because in Uganda if you don't have courage, I don't know if you can manage. I don't know for how long you can live in Uganda without courage. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation today. My name is Rogers Yahabwe, and with Farida because today we have a guest, Mr. Ojobile Augustine. We're going to be looking at a number of issues, those that are current affairs, political in nature, but also to begin with the UCE results that came out very recently. And of course, the last ones are going to also be coming, UACE will certainly be coming out very soon. The performance, one, because first, in comparison with what has been happening, but also the fact that this last year is phasing out the old curriculum and we're moving to a new one. Should we expect better performance? Should we expect an education system that is commensurate with the job market, that when someone gets out of school, they have the skills that are sellable, which is a trend that has not been happening in this very concluding curriculum that is ending with the last years, these ones that are coming out now. Those are some of the things we're going to begin in. Later in the second hour is when we're going to be looking at many of the current political issues, particularly the gentleman we have comes from the FDC. And they have a by-election going in for Dokolo Woman MP, and they are presenting a daughter of the deceased late Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. Some of the things they've been on the neck of the current government is succession politics, where a person dies and their daughter or their son or their relative replaces them. How better are they doing, and now do they have the moral authority to ever question others from doing the particular similar issues? And especially he comes from the Electoral Commission, so what were the considerations for this replacement? But that is what we're going to be looking at later on. For now, we can start with education. And good morning, sir. You can say hello to today.
Once again, I'm here with you, our dear viewers, listeners. You see, when we're on televisions, we keep forgetting that there are those who do not see us.
Yeah, by the way.
We forget that there are those who don't see us, but they can tune in and listen to us from wherever they are. There are those who may not even have their sight, but they can listen. So we distinguish the two. There are those who are busy, they can't watch, but they can listen. But there are those who can't see, but they can listen. So we recognize all of them in the different avenues they use to find information through the Mighty Drive. On a sad note, we continue to mourn Honorable Cecilia Emat Barbara. Also, as we are speaking, one of our activists lost a mother. That is Wanyera Simon, and Barry is today in Mbali City. And we continue to mourn with the family and pray for her soul to rest in eternal peace. 2 days back, we were also in Kagadi, burying the father to the Chief Electoral Commissioner, that is Dr. Mwenda Boniface, who is my boss anyway, my immediate boss. We were in Kagadi, in a place called Mabale, burying a great man called Mwenda, who also gave birth to a great personality, Bamwenda Boniface. So it has been a harsh year. Individually, I've buried 2 relatives already in this year.
We are still in the morning.
So
the early mornings.
So it is,
and you are turning it a harsh year.
Yeah, I'm saying it started in a harsh way. So we have to recognize the harshness, but tetujja malamu maanyi tulowooza nti waliwo era
normally mu Africa tugamba omwaka gulina begutwala. There are those that go with the year.
No, but whether the year is good or bad, people will always die. That is a constant. Yeah.
Okay, so how is FDC tutandikireyo? How is FDC Najjanankumbi?
Basically, I think the debate of whether FDC Najjanankumbi, whether FDC Katonga, that debate is more seemingly, to me, it's irrelevant. Because basically FDC is one. Even if someone would, FDC, there is one FDC. So whether you would want to say Katonga, whether you would want to say Najjanankumbi, the most important statement is FDC. And it is registered in its known premises, the headquarters. So I can easily disagree with you, but there is no way I will say I am going to create another headquarter. That is not there. So we can disagree internally as individuals and say we have issues that are really not rhyming well with 2 of us, but that does not mean we are going to shift the headquarter.
You are not divided.
Division is not actually the right word to be used here. What is happening is that we have contradicting values within, we have contradicting mindsets about how things are supposed to be done. So that is not necessarily called a division. That's how a political party actually must run.
But those contradictions have created the division, and that is visible, and it's a fact. So I don't know what you mean.
For me, I don't think there's a division.
Isn't there?
It's not a division.
Okay.
It's not a division to me. Because now,
there's one perception that is yours, and there's a fact which
a fact is that we have a contradiction.
And you have a division, that's also a fact.
There's not a division, because if there's a division and someone is saying I am no longer in FDC, I would call that a division. But if you say I'm FDC, but I am going to be sitting here, so there's no division there. If you've decided to sit somewhere but you're FDC, that's okay. You are still continuing the aspiration of the party. As long as you're going out there to tell people that this is FDC, so and so carried out elections, but they were not in the way we wanted them, so I am also going to carry out mine as FDC.
Let me ask you a question, Ojobile. So let's say me and you are both FDC.
Yes.
And FDC has principles, it has a constitution, it has rules, it has values, it has all of those things. When you step out and say different things, principles, principally in the name of FDC, and I step out and say the complete opposite of that, do you feel both of those views represent the FDC that we both subscribe to?
That's why I say there can be a contradiction. But that does not mean because we have spoken two contradicting statements, that's a division.
But ones that represent the party and are not in the same. Okay. What I'm trying to say is this. For an ordinary Ugandan who is out there, I understand what you mean, maybe. Yeah. Let me try to think I understand what you mean. But an ordinary Ugandan who's out there and knows that Najjanankumbi has a sort of a direction it is taking, and then there's another one which is sort of a faction at Katonga that is also literally taking another direction. Do you think an ordinary Ugandan is going to look at that as just a difference in
maybe to refresh our minds? The division we had was with Mugisha Muntu, General. He basically said, we can't continue as FDC. I am breaking off. He left. That was a breakaway. At this point, you can't call this a breakaway. Never. This is not a breakaway. This is a contradiction of ideas. That please, I think we can't continue with this. Let us see how we can keep doing ours this side, but we are all FDC. That's why you've seen that some people are saying, okay, I think we have come to understand what you were doing. And they are coming back to Najjanankumbi. So it's not a division. Once you understand that, okay, I think we had a misunderstanding here, you mend fences. You have not really broken away.
So are you Muslim?
I am not.
Okay.
That's why today, it's okay. If Ali Salaso today, Honorable, decided to say, I am coming back to FDC, you see, that's a different statement. I am coming back to FDC because she and the team had broken away. But when Kaija says, I am coming to Najjanankumbi, he's basically coming to the headquarters of FDC. So you can see the difference.
I wanted to use a thing. I hope Muslims don't find it.
I am a Muslim. Yeah.
I hope you don't. I hope you don't find it offensive. That's why I've asked.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think we all Muslims, for example, and we go to the same mosque, but me, I decide I don't find any problem eating pork. It doesn't take me away from the Muslim faith. What we disagree is, for you think it's bad to eat pork. For me, I think it's okay to eat pork. Yeah. Does that potentially represent the Muslim faith? Do you think that? Do you see the problem with that?
What does the Quran say?
The Quran might say precisely.
So, if the Quran says we shall not do that, you are literally breaking the Quran. The position, okay? So that is the position you are breaking. That please. Quran says A, B, C, D, and I'm doing the opposite. Now, here, a political party has never refused the contradictions.
Political party has principles, it has a constitution.
It has a constitution.
It has positions.
You can disagree with what I think, because these are thoughts. In a political party, you bring ideas together. So, gundi leta ebirozo byo leta bibyo tutuule.
So what happened in FDC was a contradiction?
It's a contradiction of ideas. People have different thinkings about how things must be done, and then they take a position. Say, no, for me I will be somewhere, and maybe even if Amwenda, my current boss, in 2012, when General Mugisha Muntu won as the party president, he said he will never step at the headquarters until he leaves. And he stayed away. So when Patrick Amuriato boy took over in 2017, Bamwenda came back. So was there a breakaway?
No, there was no breakaway. So there was no breakaway because that wasn't a change in the position of the party principles. This one has changed.
There was no... What is the principle that has changed?
What has not changed? Because when you look at now, for example, the direction, and I don't want to seem like I'm siding with one side.
No. So you're right.
When you look at the whole cause of this contradiction, as you like to call it, the cause of all of this and the works, of course, of the Nandara and Poa and what has sort of, which sparked, of course, that contradiction, let me use your word, your term, which sparked that contradiction that the others decided they are going to be running still FDC, but from a different headquarter. Do you see that in the same way as that gentleman you have said that for me I'll not step at the party? Because those are fundamental.
No, it's because things. For him he decided to do it in a civil way as an individual. He took a decision as an individual and took the back seat. Some people took a decision to call for a press conference in order to lure others into their mindset. So when they did so, you win hearts. When you win hearts, they also have followers. So that's why this looks to be a bigger team than the other. But I want to think that even when Toterebuka Bamwenda took that decision as an individual, there are also others who took silent decisions as him. And they decided to stay away until when a certain leadership shifts. And when it shifted, they came back. So you might be seeing the same situation. That some of these people feel they don't want to be led by Honorable Nandala, they don't want to be led by Patrick Amriatoboy, and when they leave finally,
for very good reasons, for
5 years from now,
on the main issues that
they may look very good before you probe the two sides.
The two sides, no one, probably all of them might not have very clean hands.
Yeah, so
but again, it doesn't excuse the conduct of one to say that I have dirty hands, but so do you. It doesn't work that way. You are
trying to say that some of the people in the leadership have said they have dirty hands, but they also keep saying you also have the same dirty hands. So that means that all of us are never clean, even in the Bible or in the Quran. None of us is clean. Because we know how campaigns are so stressful. Today, even if you stood for LC1, the lowest amount of money you need might be about 5 million. In your village, small village. So how much would you need to stand for presidency? Maybe an MP. Okay. Let's say an MP. Yeah? Before you even begin campaigns, you must have spent at least 50 million for a level of an MP. So if you don't have that money, you will find hardship in running from one place to another.
Does that justify the talk that you guys, in search for money to foster your campaigns, you went and got money from somewhere because you wanted to foster campaigns? Because when you needed money.
Now let me tell you this. As FDC, it gets money from different avenues which are constitutionally stipulated. We even get,
including from another party.
No, we don't get from another party, but we get.
But those were the allegations that
let me read this comment from Mwesige Jolam. He says, ask Ojobile how they conducted internal elections. There is nothing like contradiction in the FDC. The issue is one side is wrong, and he knows that.
And that is a contradiction. Mugabe John Mwesige Joram works with Mugabe John. Yeah, they work together in Entebbe. And they have a platform which really handles so many issues. And most importantly, I can talk about maybe is the issue of tax and how those other, which countries they keep relating with them. However, our internal elections were so clear from process by process. We started through National Council. National Council in 2022. Maybe before I reach there, You see, I want this contradiction to somehow get to the bottom.
To the bottom.
In 2021, that was 2020. Let me begin from 2020. National Council, which sat in November, December. It was not December. It was 6th October, 2020. That it was a decision that we have this election pushed. We were supposed to have elections in 2020 around that very year, but we had COVID. So National Council was invited to come and discuss the modality of how the party can progress. You know very well that under the Political Party and Organizations Act, a political party must have elections after every 5 years to renew its leadership. Or else, sometimes, if you don't have if you don't have clear reasons for not conducting those elections, you end up being deregistered, just like very many political parties have been deregistered. And in 2020, we had the scourge of, we had the pandemic called COVID. So we couldn't progress with that election. And we couldn't really go with this other system. Is it e-election? We did not have that system. So we decided to wait until when COVID subsidizes, and we had to invite National Council. So National Council came, and the meeting took place on, it was 9th October. Yes, if it's not 6th, 7th, or 9th, but before 10th at least. The meeting took place at the party headquarters. It was chaired by Ambassador Virigo. And the council members took a decision that there should be, they should stay the elections for 3 years, because you can't be sure of what will take place even next year. And the next year is when we were supposed to have the general elections. You know, elections go with money.
True. So
a decision was taken that we wait, we stay the party structure elections. We can't do them in a rush for 1 month, because that just maybe allow the political parties to move around, do nominations and all that. You know, even the campaigns were almost e-campaigns. And 2021 elections took place, general elections. Now, 2021, the first year was obviously ending. However, why I started from there, in 2021, I was kidnapped from my house. I was leading a campaign against the permanent secretary of Ministry of Health, and how she had handled the finances of COVID-19 and other funds. I came out, I was kidnapped on 7th of August.
from your home?
From my home. 7th of August 2021. I came out, I think, on 12th October.
You were kidnapped for what reasons?
I was running a campaign against the permanent secretary of Ministry of Health, that is Atwine Diana. Yeah, and when I came out, on my desk, I found 3 petitions. You will bear with me. Why I started from there is because I want to bring this out. I found 3 petitions, and all these petitions had one message. You people have decided not to carry out structure elections because you want to remain in office. These were the petitions. You people have decided to remain in office illegally because you illegally gave yourselves 3 years. And you'd see the names of people who are bringing up that petitions. You'd say, these are our activists. They want to be heard. And if you want names, we can mention the names. But maybe I will not for today, unless someone comes to dispute what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I will bring out names. And those petitions were responded to through a formal meeting. Those people were called, and they told them, the petitioners told them, please, we can't hold elections now. These people were given 3 years. Legally, they are supposed to complete the 3 years. That's when we must have new elections. Now, 2021 goes, 2022 begins. Now, 2022, in November, I think it was 25th to 27th, we had National Council, which took place. And that National Council took a resolution that in 2023, there must be elections. It even passed a budget for the whole process, for the party to run that whole year, meaning that the party had other engagements, but also as an election year, the budget was also passed and adopted for operationalization that very year of 2022. So when that happened, it meant that Electoral Commission had to produce the guidelines and roadmap. And by law, the party organ which passes those guidelines is National Executive Committee. Now, the party organ resolved that we should begin this process, and it was started in May 2023. So many people might have seen this, but before that, in the National Council of 2022, that's where this contradiction of money came up. But that did not stop the election, okay?
Yeah.
It did not stop the election, because many people sound like, because there was that allegation, it stopped the election. No. National Council said we should even have an elders committee to handle this. But there was a resolution that we must have elections in 2023. Because the 3 years that had been added to these people was elapsing actually on the 7th of October. So it means by 7th, you should have already done it. Now, within that period, we gave in our roadmap, gave in our guidelines for NEC, National Executive Committee, to look through and also pass them. They were adopted, and implementation was the only pending thing. So EC goes out to begin implementing, and the first phase of implementation is me bringing the guidelines to you and the roadmap. The moment you pass them and say, please, they are good for consumption, I have no business back to you. What I only need is the resources to make sure everything is done. And that is what we did as the Electoral Commission. So nobody should really be out there blaming Electoral Commission for doing its work. Maybe we should be blamed for maybe what we were supposed to do and we did not do it. So that is how everything came up. And even the date that we had decided to use as the first day for elections, that was 19th of June 2023. That day had to be shifted because there was a motion that was moved by Honorable Semujunganda in NEC, which said that, please, can we stay the elections for 2 weeks so that we can handle certain things. And this is the word he used. He said that when we fail to harmonize, we go into the elections, okay? We go into the elections, tontabala, nange sikutabala. You see, that was the statement he used. Tontabala, nange sikutabala. We go into the elections. And now, During that time, for purposes of harmonization, the party president even took a decision to leave the chair. Said, let another person come and manage this because I have interest. Said, I will not manage this seating. Let me sit aside, let someone else come and manage this seating. So he took that decision and sat in the gallery and brought his ideas. So he also said 2 weeks is very little. If we are to harmonize, Dr. Kizza Besigye is out of the country, let us push the elections ahead by 6 weeks. So when he said 6 weeks, another person came up. That one I will not mention the name for now. If again someone comes up to disrepute this, I will also bring the name. Another person comes up and says,
you could mention, because you mentioned all the others.
I mentioned the two because their names are principals in this discussion. Yeah. So the third person stood up and said, no, 6 weeks is too much, 2 weeks is very little. Let us go for 4 weeks. And there was a vote. A vote was put to the people. Voting took place. 4 weeks took the precedence. Took the day. So Electoral Commission again went back and rearranged its roadmap, and it went and it adjusted ahead by 4 weeks. So where is Electoral Commission faulted? The FDC Electoral Commission, where is it faulted? So this is where we have issues. That's why I say it's just a contradiction, that a mindset. People would say this and that. Some people had issues that maybe they were not going to make it in the various elective districts, and they felt stopping this is the best way. Because some of the people who wanted to participate had already served their 2 terms, so they felt handing over leadership is very hard. They should continue. So, and that is our constitution. You serve 2 terms, it's the end. Like Katembeya of Mbarara City, he had served his 2 terms. Like the Muzei Saulo Mate of Kasese, he had served his 2 terms. Like Chairman Caleb of Wakiso, he had served his 2 terms. And when you look at all our colleagues who were really putting the election into disrepute, were all leaders who had served their 2 terms. So it brings the question of whether they really wanted to overrun the constitution, that you don't have elections and they continue serving as the leaders of those particular
Some people like
areas.
Gejola allege that the constitutional procedures were violated where you were carrying out those elections.
It depends on which area was violated. We had even to cancel some elections because there were petitions that arose out of the elections. We cancelled those elections and we had to carry out new elections in such areas. So we even had to leave out some districts which did not have clear arrangements on how to run the whole process. We had to leave them out. There were about 30 districts we left out. So out of 150 districts, we carried out elections in 120 districts. We left out the 30, and we are yet to produce a roadmap which will begin around either April or May, and we shall this year, and we shall go cover those districts which did not have elections. So that is why I say this is just a contradiction. People had fears here and there, and now they had to seek for refuge in a different way. So
tugenda kanga tugenda for a very short commercial break. Tunakomawo tugenda kumaliriza ensonga za FDC, tuyingire ensonga za education kubanga education kati tukwatako ffenna abagamba nti ffe tuli bene Najjanankumbi, tuli be Katonga, tuli ba DP, tuli ba NUP. Education ja kubanga ate etutwaliza wamu ffenna tubeereko tuwumulamuko katono nnyo tukomawo.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly, because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Hub Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices, and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Hub Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Hub, craft your own footprints.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
It is 2 minutes past 9 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second hour of this edition of the Mighty Drive. My name is Roger Suriabwe, and with me is Farida Bikobere and Mr. Ojobile Augustine, who's also from the FDC party. And today we are talking about some of the current affairs, but particularly in political parties. So he was giving us a background of what he calls the difference in opinion or approach on certain issues of the party, what most of us from the outside look at as a split. But that's besides the point. And today, on this second one, I wanted you to give us a perspective on you as an opposition party, one that has been legitimate and has been widely, by the way, followed by Ugandans for a very long time, until this time when we have had this whole coverage and whatnot. You have the unfortunate event where the woman member of parliament for Dokolo passes away. May her soul rest in peace. And then the party decides, which is where you're coming from, the one of Najjanankumbi, which lots of people say is the official, decides to present the daughter of the deceased legislator to replace her, one who was, for clarity's sake, has not lived in Uganda for a very long time, has not been in Uganda for a very long time, but comes and you think
has not held any leadership.
Has not held any leadership. Thank you very much for that matter. We do not know her leadership capacity or potential. And the party decides it is the person they are going to give the flag for that by-election. What do you think about that?
Okay. I would request where to begin from. As a party, we have a formula of getting our candidates. And in this particular situation, we followed all. Remember, they came at a time when this problem or death occurred at a time when we were having expression of interest of our candidates, whoever wanted to be a candidate on FDC ticket. This was a time when we were already calling upon our different supporters and members to take up, to begin expressing interest. Now, the unfortunate bit happened. But however, when it happened, it did not stop the party from proceeding with its agenda of identifying candidates. Honorable Cecilia was so supportive in this whole thing before she passed on. But maybe to highlight, we had about 4 candidates who had already, not 4, there were 3 candidates
Who had shown interest?
who had shown interest.
In that particular constituency?
In that district. Without Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. Honorable Cecilia had not yet.
And without her daughter?
No, because she had not yet died.
Yes.
So the daughter was.
But the daughter might show
it's rare. It's rare to find a family fronting people on the same position. So she had not showed interest before she passed on. However, when things happened otherwise, and the mother passed on, and Honorable Cecilia passed on, now the daughter also picked interest. So we had 4 candidates. So when we had 4 candidates, the 2 candidates literally withdrew.
And you remained with 2?
We remained with the 2. So when the 2 withdrew, we now had to go into another process, because we have 4 stages for us. The first stage is expression of interest. Then you return. When you return, we give you now the nomination form. That's the second stage. When we go into the second stage, whoever brings back those forms, we now go to the third stage of taking you through vetting. And after vetting, if still you people remain 2 or more, we go into the primaries. Now, after both returning the nomination forms, I was in Dokolo with Haj Abdul Hakim, who is the commissioner in charge of Northern Region. And we were there the other Sunday. That was while on Monday EC was releasing the roadmap. So we had to go earlier on to understand the situation. Then on Monday we were in for that electoral commission meeting. And after the electoral commission meeting, we had a meeting with the 2 candidates, engagement. And then the other candidate was Akelo Rebecca, something Beatrice. I will request Arnold. I think he has some of these videos where Akelo Rebecca or Beatrice took a decision and said, I am kindly going to step down, and I have not been coerced nor bought off. Because
even if
there are some people
would have been coerced, you wouldn't say? No,
people come up. These are politicians. A politician is not a nut to be chewed. So Akelo came up and said, I think I am going to run this race as one of the campaigning agents, but I will be back in 2026. She made it open that I will be back in 2026, because I was preparing for 2026. For now, I'm not going to continue. Let me leave it and come back in 2026. So we did not really say we want you come and replace your mother. No. We left the space for everyone to run their race. And the other one said, okay, truly, I think when I look at even the cost of this by-election, and I don't have some money on me right now, I had a plan for 2026, I think, let me leave, I will come back in 2026. So even if our candidate wins in the coming by-election on 21st of March, she knows if she does not perform to the expectation of the people, someone who is going to campaign for her is already telling her that I am coming.
Okay. So Ojobile, that was a very, I think it was important to put a lot of those things in perspective. So here is my question. 4 people declare interest, 2 of them withdraw, another one decides that she needs to plan ahead for the next general election. And then you have 1 left. That is on the side of these candidates. You, as the Electoral Commission, what is your consideration for who runs? Who do you give a flag? What is your consideration? Is it just about that someone is, for example, an opposite? Do you have vetting principles that to say that, for example, for you to run to be given a flag for this party, either you must have lived in this constituency for this long, or you must have a support of this number of people, you should have good knowledge of what the constituency looks like, or you should know the principles of the party, all of these things. What were the considerations on your end?
You see, the party has guidelines for vetting. And
including a proven track record of leadership, because that's our
because that's part of the vetting. That's part of the vetting, because we must know you. Do the people know you? Because those are the things. If we are going into an election, democracy says that 100 mad men are more useful than 99 professors. That is the democracy. Because for them, they will say, yes, they are mad, but they are 100. But the 99 professors, even if they say no, the 100 take it. So while we are doing this, we put it into perspective that the people we are talking to, do you know them, or do they know you? Because we are not going to run a one-way campaign. Both must be connecting. 2, during the vetting, we also understand that, do you have any value addition to the party?
And what were those answers to those questions?
Now,
Yes.
the issue is...
No, I want to understand
the issue is,
the
issue is, we did not reach to the vetting process, as I told you. That we reached the level of where people returned the nomination. The 2 withdrew, then we had 2 who returned the nomination forms. As we went there for that Electoral Commission meeting, we decided also to meet them. And then Mrs. Akelo, that lady in Gomas, she decides and says, please, I am here, but I will be, I am literally, let me step down, because my plan was for 2026. So you don't reach the other next level.
But one would ask, why did she declare before you meeting her? And then she declared after your meeting?
Maybe she also wanted to be recognized by the party.
Maybe she was coerced, sir.
Now, the party with no coercive arms, we cannot really. And as we are speaking, more reconciliation programs are ongoing in the district with those who had a view that, why have you stepped down? Because she had support.
Yes.
Did they buy you off? But I was not even given a transport refund. Because I had her even making that statement in her video that, please, I didn't even receive any transport refund. Because I think she was trying to preempt the idea that people would say, so something like that. So we didn't coerce, we didn't do anything, but we only went to understand the situation. After meeting the Electoral Commission, we now had to come to them. How ready are we? Because we must go for primaries. We are 2. The next stage is going for vetting, and after vetting, we are going for elections, primary elections. So we had to meet them with the district leadership to find out how ready each one of them was. And she comes up and says, truly, I am not ready for the by-election, but I am preparing for 2026. That was my sole reason for beginning my tour, because she had made some inroads even before the death of Imat Cecilia. She had moved around trying to tell people, I'm also coming 2026, please.
Preparing the ground.
Yeah, and that is next year. People think 2026, you begin in 2026. It's next year.
Yeah, sure.
So she was already preparing for next year to run and maybe win her election in 2026.
Okay. So on your, again, I'm still coming to your end, because on the other side, everyone is free to run, even a madman for that matter.
No, a madman is not free.
On your end, okay, I use that
constitutionally it is.
But I use that as a figure. So
Yeah.
what I want to understand from you is, so if I came, for example, I flew in today and decided, you know what, I'm going to run, and I don't get an opponent, do you as the party just automatically endorse me to run for that constitution?
Yeah, if you do not have an opponent, the party looks at now the national constitution. You fulfill the constitutional obligations of a candidate of that particular position.
Some of which is you must have lived in Uganda for the last 6
No.
months. Which wasn't for
It's not Uganda. It's where your constituents is, that you should have lived there. But is a resident.
A resident who die and live here. That's
Is a resident.
The family lives here.
Is a resident.
She has not been living
They talk
here.
of a resident. They don't talk of the span of. If you have shifted.
They do talk about the span of the living.
If you have
they
shifted.
talk about the span of the living as in 6 months.
You must
before you
be
run.
a resident.
Yes, and living there, resident means you
now
live
you see,
there, not just by subscription.
let me tell you something. I was born in Terego. However, I grew up from Jinja. Today I live in Kampala. And I do my course from here in Kampala. When I decide not to go back to Terego for a year, do you want to tell me I'm no longer a member of Terego?
No, you're a member of Terego.
Now, if you're talking of 6 months, I must have lived there for 6 months. It does not count. What counts is that I must be a resident. So I have a residence there. I may not be living there.
So in other words, what you try to mean is I could live here, live in Kenya, but be an MP of a certain constituency here because I am a resident there.
You are a resident.
When I'm living in another country.
What I'm telling you, when I am from Terego, I have a residence there, and it is a known one. Whether I have been there or not for even a year or two, I can come back and run as long as I am a resident and I'm a registered voter and I'm a Ugandan. And I am not mad as per se. So what happens with the issue of residence is for those who shift their locations, that today I am not known to be a Muganda. Ojobile Augustine, a man from Terego, who is known more in Jinja, Walukuba, where I was a youth councillor. Okay? Now is living in Kampala. Nobody knows me in Kampala. The moment I decided to come to Kampala as a candidate, I should have lived in that area for at least 6 months. But that cannot apply to me in Terego, because that is even my ancestral home. Where will you say that I don't live? How will you begin that conversation that I'm not even a member of that place?
The thing is not the question here is not ancestry, because they also tell people that I could move from here in Kampala, go for example to Kagadi. If I've lived there for a year, I'm eligible to run.
Which is true.
So
that's
the
what
question
I'm
is
saying.
not in ancestry. So do you see the problem in having, you know, is it a West African country that has a president who lives in France?
Yes.
He literally leads a country from another country. Do you see the problem of setting a trend where a person, for example, this very madam, who has, I think, lived in the UK for almost the good part of her life.
No, it's just
and
he left Uganda in 2010.
And comes here, well, be that as it may, and comes
14
back.
years.
But he has been
It's a
coming
big
back.
period.
And he went back for studies, actually. Then
But she
started
has worked
working.
there.
Yeah.
And then she's
And
an
then she
MP
started
of a
working there.
constituency.
So
who
she's
works
going to
in
be
London.
an MP of a constituency, and then she
And
has
then
work
lives in London.
abroad.
No, but you also know that in Uganda, when you're working somewhere, you resign your work. So even those documents are supposed to be presented at nomination that please, I work here, but I have resigned. So you leave your work, you come and do this work, because this is work. You have 3 days in a week. You must be at Parliament at least 3 days a week. No, when you are talking of that, you are forgetting that they go to the committees, which is a daily activity. So that's why it is at least 3 days. You must be at your committees. If you are not there, it is the worst thing. You can miss the house, but at least don't miss the committee, because it is from the committees where whatever is brought to the house is discussed and grind very well.
So in this whole thing, Ojobile, this practice of someone has passed on and then their relatives replace them, whether that is on competence grounds, which it rarely is, including this very one to be specific, do you think now you as the opposition people who are ideally supposed to be checking government practices will have the moral authority to again tell the people in leadership in government or call them out for such similar practices? For example, should the president's son decide to run, or the president decide my president can replace me, will you have the moral authority to question that?
Yes, I will. I will have the moral authority. You see, what we challenge always is not that Museveni must not run. We say, please, keep the ball rolling. Let us have a level ground for everyone to play. If I am going to play with you, it shouldn't be me to choose a referee. No, I want her to be our referee. I even pay her transport to and from wherever she's going to come from. It shouldn't be that. Let us go to the field. Let us face a neutral ground. Let us be on a neutral ground. Let us be in front of a neutral referee. Let us do everything as stipulated and guided by the law. Whether it is the son, let him come and run. If you decide so, he becomes. But if people have decided that he must not lead, he leaves. So that is the ground we talk of. Even today in Dokolo, we have not appointed that lady to become the MP. We have only flagged her off after a rigorous internal process that she now emerges as the candidate for FDC. But it is not true that she is already the MP of Dokolo. The people of Dokolo can decide even not to vote for her. Okay? When they decide not to vote for her, there's no way we are going to force them to say, Dr. I'll watch, please.
But you also know that
you are
people follow political parties, and what you decide is sort of an endorsement. And that sets a precedent and a practice that is very likely going to be repeated in future.
You see?
And in future, they may not have those considerations of rigorous assessment. It will be, but we have had so and so being replaced by their son or daughter. So why not us, or why not now, or why?
Obviously, you see, such sentiments always come up, and you may never run away from them. But as a practice, you must continue democratization of all institutions. As long as you're a political party, do not run away from that. Make sure you continue with that. Whether it is bad or good, make sure you give people an opportunity to take decisions. That's why we went to Dokolo, to actually give the opportunity to the people to decide, because we had now told them the moment you fail at this stage, the people of Dokolo will do what? Vote. Because we have the structures. They will be coming to vote. Whoever wins the primaries becomes the flag bearer. This lady admits that truly, yes, I think I don't have the financial muscle now. I am preparing for the other session. So this can be a precedence that she also came as a daughter to the deceased. Just like we had Alengot, we had the most recent one of Serere. Serere, I think is not even the most
But
recent.
the fact that
Bokedia.
she's a daughter to the deceased, the ground is not leveled already. She's a kilometer ahead of
You're working
the other
on
people.
people's
You already
emotions,
are
it's not on
playing a
competence
sympathy
ground.
card.
No,
from
not
the
merit.
voters.
no. If we talk of competence, I am.
It's not on merit, that's just in emotion.
I am going to critically disagree with you on that, because one, she is a master's holder in economics and statistics.
Education and competence are different things. Far from it.
No.
What
Do you
is
know
our
why
leadership-
they
what is our leadership experience?
do you know why you are told to have a minimum of senior 6? It means in parliament, in the Ugandan setting, they are not looking at your experience. When I want a job here, you are going to ask for experience of about how many years? 3, 4, 5. Some even ask for 7 years. But in parliament, there is no experience. Have you read the?
No,
so that experience is not asked for.
Yes,
What
that's
So
they
it
want.
doesn't count her leadership experience.
What they want is, are you academically upright? That can you reason? Can you rise up and debate? Because as a member of parliament, your biggest role is legislative.
Yes.
I am going to challenge the bad policies. I am going to challenge this bad law. I am going to challenge this budget. I am going to challenge this, and I'm going to talk to this. Okay? So you do not have to be specific. I have been maybe a counselor, I've been this. No, you may not.
Ojobile, this is the reason why I asked for the experience. I understand what you're talking about. What I mean is this. In a situation, for example, such as this one, a lot of people are going to ride on emotions to vote. You understand that? That is not the same as any other person running. So the reason why I asked for experience is this, that when she is standing, the people of Dokolo are not seeing the daughter of Cecilia Ogwal. They are seeing a competent person who's running for that seat, who's going to represent them in the National Assembly.
And she will.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm asking for experience is so that people, the discernment is on her practicality and experience and exposure, as opposed to the emotion of my mother has just passed, and therefore the rest you can do is surely to let me finish what her is.
Basically, if you listen to her while we were unveiling her, she gave a small background of what she has been doing. And one of them is that one of the infrastructure assessment and facilities within Dokolo, where the mother was at the forefront, it was being done by her. And one of them is where they had to build building blocks in schools in support to the different schools in Dokolo district. She was one of the funders from the other side. The mother would only come and say, yes, we have this. There was someone who was trying to do that and providing such facilities. So in the background, she has been working with the mother, though it was not her. So today it is her. Actually, she already started. These kids who made it first grade, Dokolo P7, all of them were given mattresses and suitcases.
Those are political games. That's not.
No, it has been happening with the mom.
Those are political games. Those are not things we count on.
No. When you talk of what to do, these are people who are underprivileged. Yesterday was
also those are things that are not sustainable. So really, I wouldn't.
But the mother has been sustaining them, so you should ask how, because she tells you some of these things have been happening in the background that you may not know. It is not the money from Parliament which has been really supporting this. Maybe her and others have been making sure the kids of Dokolo receive such, because it has been going on for 19 years.
So she does that under an organization or just a sympathizer?
Also,
now I can't know because she made it clear on media that we have been doing this with mom, but it has been going on for 19 years. So if it can't be sustained, for them they managed to sustain it for 19 years.
This is how questionable that is. For a leader who's supposed to give people better education and who's supposed to, by the way, legislate for them to get out of that poverty, you've been doing that as an individual. Do you see how questionable that is?
It can't be, because if you're saying
literally you're not doing anything as a leader of the constitution.
No, but you know that she has been one of the best legislators. So if things are failing, should you run away from that?
No, you don't.
So she has been a legislator, an outstanding legislator
for a very long time.
For a very long time, and now too, she even goes ahead to practically provide through lobbying from elsewhere,
from the daughter.
Maybe from the daughter and others. Because now the daughter came up and said, I have been in the background also offering some supportive arm towards these incentives.
Speaking of education, I think we can,
education, we've had family y'omukyalo yebadde mu buyinza kati maama avuddemu omwana atutte n'omwana wa muwala wajja kutwala byennyini bye tuli mu kulwanyisa byebikolebwa and we are in support as the opposition. So it is really ironical. Anyways, we are crossing to education. Talking of education, tutandike ne performance yet Dokolo, now that you've been on the ground, how was the performance? Bigeze byakafuluma this year, UCE and PLE.
Basically, even if we don't talk about Dokolo, but
we can generalize.
Generally, our education standard has gone down. Yeah, because in PLE, we will begin from there. Yeah. PLE results, when you saw them, about 19,000 people failed. About over 2,000 dropped out, and it's really a big number. It's
for the failures they can repeat.
Yeah, repeating is really not good also, because there is a way to demoralizes. That you know, colleagues, this is my friend, you are my friend.
It's also expensive.
The two of you have gone, have remained behind. Psychologically, if I do not find a good counselor, most of them actually fail to proceed. Majority of them fail to progress, because some of them are actually failing not because they are not right upstairs, but the different challenges here and there. You're leaving home after digging, you're leaving home with no food.
No lunch
at school. There is no lunch. Maybe even in the evening you took some popcorn and tea in order to sleep. So you are living a tortured life continuously. By the time exams come, you actually not to it. So when we look at that comes with so many challenges. First is how we have handled the UPE. Okay, UPE UPE is a good program which should actually be supported more and more.
Supported by the government?
Yeah, by the government, which should be supported by government more and more.
Yeah. Because
it helps to enrich many families with at least elites. This foundation of PLE, of primary, goes on to secondary and should go on up to the university. However, you're going to witness these challenges. One, a kid is given 17,000 annually as support for that whole year. Now that 17,000 divided by 3, it means every kid or every child is basically earning about, is being budgeted for. How much would that be? 17 divided by 3.
By 3
yeah,
times.
That is about maybe 17 divided by 2.
5 point something.
That's about 5,300. Yes, 5,600. So that is every term. Look at your own budget as whoever is listening and watching. What can 5,000 do? To a kid per term. this is so different from other people. I don't want to go very far. Even Kenya, our closest friend. In the primary school, they offer each child 600,000 is the budget, Ugandan shilling, annually. So it means 200,000 Ugandan shillings every term. So look at the difference. Uganda, we have 5,000. Kenya is at 200,000. So that is how we are really fighting to develop our children. And now that is the foundation, because the moment we leave the foundation to be as weak as it is, what do we expect at higher levels? When we come to secondary, we are giving each child annually 56,000, I think, 56 or 57. Meaning that every term you are giving around maybe the 17, no?
Oh yeah.
17 or 18,000 per term. Now, that is, again, when you go to Kenya, they are giving about 1.6 for a secondary kid annually. So when you divide by, so this is something you see that government has lagged behind. Obviously, we may, someone might say, you see, we have improved. It used to be so.
The literacy levels have gone up. It
used to be, is it 6,000 annually? Now it has gone up. At least we are giving 17,000. So it is still not enough. Actually, it is a peanut. It's not there. So, coupled with other challenges of even the ministry itself, because we even doubt the leadership of the ministry. How the ministry is supposed to run affairs is also determined by the leader. So you have had Parliament complaining about the First Lady, who even never appears in Parliament. Yeah. She never brings reports. She never wants to. She will continue sending the line ministers to appear on her behalf. Maybe we don't know why, but we have always questioned her education for one reason. Yes, she's a teacher who did not go for internship, and when you don't go for internship, you do not qualify to be a teacher. So that is the reason as to why it has always come up. And they say, as teachers, we have been undermined for over now 10 years. She has been a minister, I think, since 2016. Is it? I think 16 or 13, something there, after coming from Karamoja. So our education in Kampala, no single government school got a 4. In Kampala, where we are seated, no single school government-based got a 4.
4 out of 4.
As in
4 points.
4 points in Kampala, as we are seated, where we are seated. No government school got division 4. Division 1, 4 points, 4 out of 4. So that is something which is so alarming that you must not really not pay attention to. You must really go deeper and probe to understand what is happening in these government schools. Okay? So this is something so disastrous to our community that we expect anything good to begin from the center. Before you reach my home village, in Otombari Parish, where we have a small primary school there, at Otombari Primary School, yes, government aided. Before you expect a 4, the other side, or even a 7,
we should be having
we should have a 4 here in Kampala. True. Before you expect a 7 in my Otombari Primary School. In Terego. So if it can't happen here, where do you expect it? That is a question to them, not for you. If it can't happen in Kampala, where should we expect it? Today, as we are speaking, where are the ancient schools? which used to really bring. I did some. I had to go back and read all these schools, how they performed.
Yeah.
In as far as our they arrange them in the first 300 schools. Now, we have had, maybe I will talk about the best school in Central, after UCE. It came from Seta. Seta Mukono.
Seta High.
Seta High. Seta High School,
Yes.
which got all students in first grade, 242. All of them passed in first grade.
I have my questions.
Don't mind. Just the way you have your questions, you will understand what I'm going to bring up.
Yes.
Now the best in Western is in Hoima, and it is St. Andrea Kahwa College. It had 179 students. All of them passed.
In first grade?
Yes, all of them passed in first grade. The other best in Central is the first in the whole country, actually. Now this one in Western is the 8th in the whole country. Now in Eastern, we have JIPRA, Ginger Progressive Academy, which got 54 first grade, then 3 second, 1 third, and 0 failed. They were 24th in the whole country. Now we come to North. The best was the Dara Christian High School, which is in Lira district. And they were 85th
In the whole country?
in the whole country. So that's where North is.
That was the best in the whole region.
That's the best in the whole region. It's the number what?
85th.
85th in the whole country. And maybe to put it in perspective, the whole of North, out of the 300 best schools, they only had 17 schools. And the best is the 85th. So you need to understand how things are happening. Okay?
Yeah.
Things like Komboni College, which used to be one of the best schools in this country, is number 202 in the entire country. 202. You need to understand. One like schools like Muiri, which used to be one of the best schools.
Yes.
Today it was number 138. Muiri College. So you need to understand some of these things. Where did the Nabumali girls disappear? In the first 300, you can't see it. It can't appear. In the first 300 schools, it can't appear.
Namagunga is taking which position?
Namagunga took, I don't know which position, but Nabisunsa took the 38th. Nabisunsa.
This year was a serious shake.
So you really need to understand how things are happening.
That we have had in which position?
That we have had a shift.
We have been rating Vudo to be one of those best schools.
No, Vudo, I may have not written it here in my book, but Vudo, when I read, it was among the first 10.
Okay.
Yeah, so for it performed fairly well.
Yeah.
So it was among the first 10. However, I have heard again some stories somewhere about Bukedia. Is it progressive because of the speaker? When I looked through, I didn't see it anywhere. But because some people are trying to market their institutions or schools, they are trying to put it that...
some of those names, I have my reservations. The first 300.
Obviously,
it is pure marketing.
No, no, it can't be marketing because that is what they got. If you compare with others, they have not got what they have. How they got them is what we should question.
Yes.
Okay? How they got them. Because a school like, you know, this Mengo SS Kampala, it used to be a very highly rated. It was now 65th.
Mengo?
Yes. So these are things you really need to understand. One young girls in Ginger, 117th. So these are things you really need to look at and understand that we have a challenge. Even if other schools have come up, we do not say that other schools should remain behind. Okay? Even if they have come up, but at least we should have the first 300 where we have SPAB results. Not having results of 35 first grades, and you are among the 300 best schools in the country. You have 35 first grades. You have 2. There's one I saw which has 1 because they maybe had 15 students. Had 1 first grade and the rest were second grade. so now
maybe it also depends on the number of candidates that sat in that school, and then vis-a-vis their performance. And I think that's what informs the grading.
That is okay. It's exactly what I'm saying, that we can have those schools, but we should have clear, good results, so that you don't have like a NEBI, which had about over 60 students. Then you got 14 first grades, 31 second, 13, and now you are you are
among the 300.
You are among the 300, 293rd. Okay, so it's really, it means people performed poorly, but we just put our heads in the sand and pretend.
They were from performance. They were the best.
So then that means that there was poor performance generally.
There was general poor performance. There was poor performance, but there is a syndicate, or there's some message being built, because you know in P7 very many failed, and it was an alarm everywhere. People were trying to say, hey, please, how come? Everyone was shouting. Now, this senior 4, I want to assume that there were changes afterwards about the marking. That please, maybe if someone who got 75 and you had given them a 2, you give them 1.
But by that time they had finished marking.
Now, why were they not out?
No, by the time PLE results are released, marking is done. Even for UCE.
I don't think so. Maybe marking is done. And,
I am a teacher, I'm telling you.
I don't know. I don't know. But for me, I have I thinking. That's why I said there must be something, the message being built, that after the P7, the senior 4 performed very well, because that has been now the message out there. I
was seeing the statistics. 12% of all of SATs failed, 31% passed in D4, Division 4 pass. Like no itakagua what?
Beba abaise atano mobili Division 4.
Average no itakagua. 23 were in D3 and 23 again. 23, one was 23.1, another one 23.7. D1 and D2, Division 1 and Division 2.
They got a tie.
And then only 17.9% were in D1. So the ones in passes, those are Sekagua were more. They were 31 point something.
So basically we failed.
And then
so we failed.
I wouldn't say that.
Basically we failed. But I have seen this propaganda moving on media, trying to say.
And they also said the 17.9 that is in D1 last year. The D1s were 13%. Which they were saying now it's
there's an improvement.
Okay. So we are rating that as success.
Okay. Okay, even the population, the number of those who sat improved.
The number increased.
So it increased. So even the performance also had to increase. So it means they should continue enrolling more. Maybe we can have more D1s.
More first grades.
More first grades. That should be the message.
The problem with that is that we only get those because we have more people, not that because people are more smart.
Yes, that's now what I'm saying. That they should continue making sure that our people do not jump out of school before they do their final exams. So that is deal with the problems affecting us. I have seen at Ministry of Finance complaining that we are in a deficit of about how many 13 billions where people are not paying the loans these university loans. I saw, is it 13 billion something, somewhere I saw it. And I think maybe they should also go back and rethink, not the loans, but the aftermath. That after school, where do these people go?
Because bakuwa loan ko nti ogenda kumala
ofuna omulimu osasule. So have we looked at our taxation policy? Have we looked at our job policies, employment policies? Do you even respect retirement? That when people make 60, give them the emoluments, let them go.
And let
others come in. When people come in, just know that the moment you give those emoluments, retirement benefits, people go out there and invest. They invest.
First they leave this employment for others. They also
they go and invest and employ other people. More 2-3 people get employed because of them. So this alone, that's why I talk of taxation and employment policy. Because once I go out there, I need to begin. When I'm beginning, what is the taxation policy? Why should I pay in dollars, rent in dollars here in Kampala? Yet nobody is going to pay me in dollars. Okay, I pay electricity.
Yet in government itself does not use
dollars to pay salaries. So why should people be paying rent in dollars and pay electricity in dollars? That is a way of swindling money from the population. You kill investment, and then in the end, you want these very people to pay back the loan. It can't be. It can't happen. You can't say we are giving you money for yoga in order to improve your household income. But where you're going to invest, even before you begin investing, that money is finished. So there is no way government can pretend that it wants to deal with the high rate of indebtedness within those who took loans for tuition, yet it is not dealing with the problem of unemployment.
I want you to give us solutions about what the causes of the deterioration of performance in these historical schools that we have been known, and we know those schools are performing better now, based on the results that came out. They have really performed poorly. What is causing the deterioration in performance in these schools, and what could be done? Actually,
many things are causing that. One, you see, once the system breaks down, a lot of things get disorganized. Now, just understand that the NRM system has disorganized a lot of things. System of Mr. Museveni. One, I said, putting the wife as the Minister of Education was a blunder. Because you should have maybe given Muyingo.
Because she's not answerable to anyone.
Give Muyingo. Muyingo, who is a classified teacher and a leader in that regard. You've made him a line minister for over 20 years. I think I've seen that man as a deputy. Is it what? They are what? I call them deputy ministers. No, Muyingo, who is deputizing the first lady, has been there even at the time of Namireme Mitamazire.
He has a lot of experience.
Why don't you promote him and give him that task? Because he's always there for higher education, for higher education, for higher education, for higher education. Yet he has the knowledge. He's the one you send to Parliament to present on your behalf. Why can't they give him the full ministry to manage? Because he knows what to do. So the first lady is just is the first problem. Actually, is the second problem. Maybe the husband may be the first problem. Then the wife might be the second problem. But now it goes back to how even the leadership of these schools have come up. That many of these people who are becoming the leaders of these schools are not coming out because they have really served the various institutions to their best of ability. Majority of them are coming up because I was an OB
of the school,
and I became I went to Makerere or somewhere in a teaching college. I became a teacher. I came and started my practice from here. Now I am known. I was the head prefect of this school. They give them manage, thinking that they understand what to do. Yet they have gone through a corrupt system. A corrupt system which gives them a corrupt mindset. That you are going to begin cheating exams because you want your school to progress, to perform.
Yes.
Now for them, who are young managers in this whole process, they have not acquired enough knowledge of managing these schools. But they have the mandate to make sure that these ancient schools must remain performing.
To glorious days.
So somewhere, somehow, things fail. And they will continue failing if we do not check who are the leaders in these schools. 3, I talked of the emoluments that are being given to these various students to support them. It is a supportive arm. It's a grant which is given to these schools, to these kids. So we also make that as a budget, but I don't think it has always gone into fulfillment. Because looking at our budgetary allocations, last year I think they only managed to give grants of about, I think, 60%. So where is the 40%? So when they were giving the 60%, who were they giving and who were they not giving? Which schools were they giving? Which schools were they giving out? Okay? So if that also comes back. They say, you are Mwiri. You people, you even ask for too much school fees from parents. From students. From parents. Now your money will not come. Now remember that money does not really go to the kid. Yes. It goes into facilities that must help this kid to progress. And that is the teacher, those are the books, those are the other laboratory equipments. So these are so you've left out these schools. So they will also begin struggling to find where to go. There was a school which government took over and it collapsed. Wachitaka.
The irony of that.
St. John's Wachitaka of Ginger.
Yes, I know.
It used to produce one of the best students every year. Now, government came, lured him, said, please, could you give us this school? It was a private school. And the man hesitated, he said, no, I'm not going to give. And then the man afterwards said, see ya. He went and started another school. Is it St. Florence? Somewhere in Ibugembe. That school again came up, is it number 60 something?
St. Florence.
Yes. Now Wachitaka, which was among the best, you can't even trace. You can't even trace where it is. So,
you're closing.
So when I say it disappeared, that's what I really mean. That you can't even know where it went. But the person who handed over the school to you and went and started all afresh somewhere is again among the best schools. So there's a problem in the system. There's a problem in the government system. There must be an iron hand or fist which must be used to give this education another life. Otherwise, we are having doom in the future. You see, one of the things that develop a country, they're basically about four things, and the leading is education. The leading is education. That's why majority of the activists and former big leaders or superior leaders keep bringing so many quotes about education. You want to kill a country, a state, kill education. You don't want your people to learn anything, don't take them to school. So many quotes will come up. But as Uganda, what is our priority? Is it education or security. It is something else? Even if it is security. We have had people in Rwenzori who have not appeared anywhere. apart from, I think I only saw one school from Kasese, and that those are about 3 districts in Rwenzori. And the challenge is, one, there is insecurity. For them, they can talk of insecurity. But now what failed Kampala from getting a 4? Thank you.
You're welcome. Adai. Ensonga nno eza education zibadde nkulu nnyo ddala. Ekibuuzo kituufu kiki ekyagaana Kampala okufuna 4? Omwana talima, omwana akeera ku ssomero, abaana ba Kampala bagenda ssaawa 11 bakomawo 3 ez'ekiro, like for sure maybe babakeeza nnyo tugambe endende
basoma nnyo ne balema okukola.
Kendeze ku budde bw'okusoma
bakowa nnyo n'ebintu ne bibalema okukwata. Naye nga tugenda kubeebaza abatambudde naffe okuva wali etandikidde ku ssaawa 2 ate paka wano etunzikidde. Show yaffe y'olunaku lwa leero ebaddemu n'ebyokuyiga bingi. Emunange kati kiri eri ggwe, where do you pick from the politics that we have begun with, oba ate eno gye tukomenkereza eno mu education ganga araisinze ensonga nkulu nnyo mu education sector, ate nga naawe oba oziraba bulungi nnyo. Omukulu ali mu byuma atujjukiza bulungi n'agamba nti GS Muyingo State Minister for Higher Education. So no omukulu oyo gwe tuba tulaba mu parliament ngalo kye tubuuza ku by'okusoma. Janet ng'agamba genda yo baddemu the situkira bantu abo. And when she wants to talk to them, she will invite them to State House. Ebyo nno munnange ebitiibwa bye bityo bwe bikola. So era omukulu atugambye mbu she's the second reason lwaki abaana bagudde nnyo. Mbono yakola education n'atakola internship. Ngamba mbu nno si byange muyinza okunoonya anu nga bantu te. Yabagaliza olunaku olulungi. Sigenda olunaku olw'enkya saa zigenda kubeera 2.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.